Welcome back into the Albuquerque Downs Racetrack and Casino postgame show. Winning entertainment, including simulcast racing, live music, dining, the best games, and more. That's the Albuquerque Downs Racetrack and Casino. Final score, St. Mary's 72, Lobos 58. Some individual numbers, 25 points for Aiden Mahaney to lead all scorers, 9 of 19 field, 5 of 10 arc, 2 of 4 foul line, had 2 assists in 34 minutes. 12 points for Wessels, their backup big, 4 of 6 field, 4 of 5. Stripe had 5 boards and 3 turnovers. 9 points for Marsh Jalonis, 2 of 9 floor, 5 of 8 foul line, missed his 2 3-ball attempts. 5 dimes for Marsh Jalonis, the point guard, had 2 turnovers and 3 rebounds in 29 minutes. 7 points for their starting big, Saxon, 2 of 5 field, 3 of 4. Stripe, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers in 23 minutes. 6 points for Jefferson, 3 points for Dukas, 2 points for Ross to round out the scoring among the regulars. Off the bench, late, Forbes picks up 6, Barrett picks up 2. For the Lobos, game-high total, Donovan Dent, 15 points, 5 of 12 field, 4 of 6. Charity Stripe, 1 of 1 from the arc. 5 assists, just 2 turnovers, and 2 rebounds in 29 minutes for Donovan Dent running the point, with Jalen House injured with a hip and out tonight. 11 points for Nelly Jr. Joseph. His first Lobo double-double included 13 rebounds. He was 5 of 11 from the field. He had an assist and a turnover in 28 minutes. 8 points for J.T. Toppin. Jaden Toppin, 4 of 6 floor, 0 of 1 arc. He had 6 rebounds before he fouled out after 16 minutes of play. 7 points for Jamal Mashburn Jr., the Lobos' top scorer and the number 1 scorer in the Mountain West from a year ago. Just 3 of 16 from the floor, 1 of 3 from the arc in 33 minutes for Mash. 5 points apiece for Webb, Washington, and Umsil. Umsil buried his first Lobo 3, and that 3-ball was Umsil's 100th of his career. 2 points for Baker to round out the Lobo scoring. We're joined courtside postgame by Lobo head coach Richard Pitino. Coach Pitino, welcome and thank you for joining us. And you said it was going to be a bruiser tonight. What did you think was the difference in the contest this evening?
Yeah, their physicality shocked us way more than it did last year. And that's obviously my concern, is that, you know, losing Josiah, losing Morris. I think Nelly will certainly catch up, but what we're asking of him is obviously a lot. So we got a long way to go. You know, I think that's a old, veteran, disciplined team. And I told our guys, I said, listen, man, like, although that hurt, we're going to learn a lot from that when we watch it, because that's the standard we want to be at. This program is really, really good and really, really consistent, and we have to understand what that physicality looks like.
Yeah, I was going to ask, Coach, what was the number 1 takeaway in terms of what you've learned?
Physicality. You know, they are physical without fouling, somewhat, right? But they're big, they're strong. When they screen, they screen. When they go to offensive rebound, they rebound. When they are screened, they blow it up. You know, they're just big and strong. And we were a little bit more ready for that than we were this year. I knew it'd be a hard game. I wanted to challenge our guys early. It was kind of a last-minute kind of schedule, but I think it's going to be worth us in the end if we learn from it.
What did you learn about Donovan Dent? Asked to be your floor general, run the point. He gets the start with the hip, not allowing House to take the court tonight. We saw that he is really ready for the moment, I think.
He's really good, but, you know, if you look at when Jalen House has been out, we're 0 for 3 in our last year and whatever. We need to, obviously House will come back at some point, but we got to find a way for other guys to step up. Donovan did that. I felt like we missed Jalen on a lot of things. Certainly from an offensive standpoint, he helped score the basketball. We were not in sync with, I think Nelly didn't maybe understand a lot of the calls and things just yet on the road. So, again, I do think it's going to be a great lesson for us.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. Offensively, it seemed like Lobo struggled early on, especially in the first half, trying to get their own, whether it was Mashburn trying to dribble, drive, and create his own, or even Nelly catching in the post, pounding it 5 or 6 times before he even can get to the rim. What was the offensive strategy around that? I mean, were there plays set for that? Or
I mean, I think at the end of the day, this team has not gone against that physicality. We don't have that. We're not that way every day. Like Nelly just got here 10 days ago, and he's probably our biggest, most strongest physical guy. So I think they've never seen that. Now, as you get into conference, you're going to see that a lot more. So it's a great learning experience and a great learning lesson. Where we got to be better is the plays after the play. What do you do when stuff breaks down? What do you do when they blow up your stuff? So we've got a lot of work to do. I knew we did. I'm not at all deterred by this outcome. I thought it'd be really, really tough, especially so many new guys. We just know we got a lot of work to do.
What about Mash tonight? 3 of 16 floor. Obviously, they're big and long, and they're going to make it difficult for him. But what did you think of his shot selection, and did he push things? Did he force things maybe a little bit?
I mean, I'm sure he did a little bit because you're missing one of the best guards in the country. So you can't dismiss that as if it's nothing. And that's why I said before, like, hopefully that's the last game we play without Jalen House. But we have not shown that we can go win without him. And maybe Mash is trying to do a lot. I mean, but that's what we want him to do. But certainly we're better with Jalen House on the court.
JT Toppin makes his first career start in this environment as a true freshman, and a couple of quick fouls. But overall, what did you think of his effort?
He was great. He just was in foul trouble, and I was concerned with that. It's such a physical game, but 8 and 6 with 5 fouls in 15 minutes is hard. But we needed him because that rebounding, and he's long and he's big. So we got to work on just the discipline part of not getting in foul trouble.
Coach, what did you think of the scrappiness defensively in the second half when the full court trap? Thought it was you guys were able to stop them from scoring, slow them down a little bit?
It was better for sure. They turned it over 13 times. I know a lot of those were in the second half.
You were able to rush them too.
Quentin Webb continues to just bring really good energy. And like you said, I mean, sometimes you're not going to get a steal, but you get them to shoot a quick shot, and then you get to rebound the basketball. So I feel like since Nelly got here and Jalen and Isaac Mushila were out for 5 weeks, I feel like we had to hit reset a little bit. So it's going to be a big month we'll get a little rest right now, but we got to have some great practices leading up to next week.
And along the lines of defense, I thought the other true freshman, True Washington, a couple of steals. He did some things to show that defense translates even against a really good team.
He does, yeah. That's hard for a freshman to go against those veterans. Those are really good old players. I think True's going to be a great player. We don't have a lot of offensive continuity when stuff breaks down, so we really got to work on that. And, now that we get Nelly back, work on his low post stuff a little bit. But we'll be, like I said, I know we'll be all right. This is disappointing. But this was kind of a swing for the fences scheduling with a lot of new guys to see if we can go get a quad one. But we'll learn a lot from it.
A week from today at home against UT Arlington. We look forward to it.
All right, thank you,
Thanks,
guys.
Coach.
Lobo head coach Richard Pitino postgame. We take our final postgame timeout. Lobos fall at St. Mary's 72-58. Back after this on the UNW Sports Radio Network. The Albuquerque Downs Racetrack and Casino postgame show from Moraga and St. Mary's College. Final score, St. Mary's 72, New Mexico 58. Tonight, the Lobo defense pulled off 2 block shots. For each of those, a Valley Fence block hunger donation to the Roadrunner Food Bank. A final time with Lobo all-timer Hunter Green. I'm Robert Portnoy, and Hunt. In a 72-58 loss, it's time for our adjustment of the game, brought to you by The Joint, the official chiropractor of Lobo Athletics. And what do you have tonight, sir?
I thought the biggest adjustment was in the second half when, again, the Lobos put on their full court trap and were able to turn over St. Mary's and also speed them up and to keep, kind of slow them down offensively in the second half.
And I think it was very effective, and it led to some fast break points. The Lobos had 8 of those, and it led to points off turnovers. The Lobos had 11 of those, and a lot of that came in the second half when New Mexico cranked up the defense by picking up and trapping full court.
Yeah. No, and that was really the big adjustment in the second half defensively.
All right, that's going to do it for us for tonight from St. Mary's College. The Lobos will next take the floor a week from today. On the 16th of November, that's Thursday next week, UT Arlington comes to Albuquerque for a 7 o'clock tip-off. Our airtime 6:30 with the Lobo basketball pregame show. Engineering tonight, Jeff St. Louis got us started, and Bob Walpo took us to the finish line. Robert Portnoy on site with my partner, Hunter Green. Hunt, It is just one contest. It is very early, and that's the 23rd best team in the nation. And the Lobos haven't had their group together really for much of the preseason leading up because of visas and injuries. This team is not going to peak early.
Right.
After last year's 14 straight wins to start the year. It's going to take a little time for this group to gel, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, on both ends, defensively and offensively, just the timing, feeding the post, getting into offensive sets, and this was a very good team. I think St. Mary's, early on in the season as a second game in the season to come on the road and play St. Mary's like this. I mean, they're big, they're tough defensively, disciplined offensively,
and a lot of experience.
Yeah.
And 16 consecutive postseasons, 9 of those NCAAs, the last 2 years, a 5 seed. They know how to win.
Oh, they do.
All right. That'll do it for us for tonight. Your final score for the final time. Join us next week on a Thursday in Albuquerque at the legendary Pit. Get your tickets. Be there 7 p.m. UT Arlington comes to town next week. St. Mary's knocks off the Lobos. The Gales 72 and New Mexico 58. So long, everybody. This has been Lobo Basketball on the UNM Sports Radio Network.